We'll get there. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you being here on Warchant TV. And if you are driving about town, stay safe. A little rainy, nice and cold. It's good to get back in town and feel that cool air, buddy.
There we go. That's more like it.
I agree. Happy Thanksgiving, belated. We wished each other a happy Thanksgiving yesterday via text, but first I've seen you, so I hope it went well with you and the family, sir.
Things were good, man. Things were good. And I appreciated the Del Griffith text.
I knew you'd like that.
It's the proper day to honor Del Griffith, although Del Griffith gets a month. He does get a month, but yesterday's the day.
And I didn't give you the sad one this time. I just made you laugh.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
Yeah, you didn't. I figured I was going to send you the classic, and then I was like, oh, that's a sad one. I'm not sending him the sad one. I'm going to send him one that would make him laugh, which was Soprano defending Del Griffith being an American hero.
Well, that's correct. Yeah. In this house.
Yeah, he's a hero.
He's a hero. Yeah, the sad one, though, is not the I like me bit. It's just the photo you took of him when they're sitting down and they're having lunch.
Oh,
and he's in the garnet sweater, the maroon sweater.
Which is beautiful.
But the look in his eyes.
Oh, yeah.
The pain of John Candy, shines through Del Griffith.
That's why it's a perfect character.
It's devastating.
Yeah, it is.
He was only 44.
Yeah, I know. It's why when you watch the Steve Martin documentary, I don't know if you've seen that clip of him losing it talking about John Candy.
Yeah, I have. He's rifling through
he's reading the script.
Screenplay,
the
script.
Yeah, that's tough. All right, enough about John Candy. We don't want to get depressed. It was a good Thanksgiving for me, too. I'm ready to take in a bunch of football. There's football on as we speak. I don't know why we ever agreed to do this Friday show. Quite frankly, before the game, when we come back to town, it's always...
Let's go hit the bar. I'll see you.
Let's go. Come on. I'll let you
I'll race you there.
It's like, well, it's especially hard this year because normally we're excited, honestly, about the damn game. Like, now's the time you come into the studio to get pumped about Florida State, Florida. And I think we walked in here just two mopes. We're like, okay. All right. You see Deuce Span left? I did. Okay. Not that's like...
Looks like we're going to get a 4-star defensive end. A nice little flippity-do.
And we got a 6'7" wide receiver from Arizona State. Where have I seen that before?
JUCO. But, yeah, Kenny was on him.
Yeah, Kenny was on him. Yeah, we flipped him from Arizona State.
You're right. That clip of Kenny losing his mind.
He looks ridiculous.
He does. He has this facial expression that I don't understand.
There's a bunch of...
Is he trying to do like a Tracy Morgan impression? You see the face he's got? Like, the game is over. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, he lost it. Everything about what happened at the end of that game made him look bad. In a year in which he's made to look good. He's made himself look good.
He's had a nice year.
He's had a very good year, and that's a fun team to watch play. I never know. I heard somebody talking yesterday. There was a conversation about the season that's played out here, and there was talk of the coaches that have had good years and those that maybe salvage something, like a Billy Napier, for example, a coach we're going to see tomorrow, and those that have fallen on hard times, like the other head coach we're going to see tomorrow, Mike Norvell. But they were doing it throughout college football. And the more I listened to the conversation about who they were sure were guys that either were going to get extensions or guys that might hop for a better job or have opportunities in that realm, I thought about just how uncertain all of this is and continues to be. Like, I could just as easily see, and this is not a shot at Kenny. I like Kenny. I got along with Kenny when he was here. I always enjoyed talking to him. I like people who don't mince words. If you haven't figured that out about me over the years. And Kenny doesn't. I like that about Kenny.
Kenny had petulant in him in a more subtle way. So in a way, I'm kind of glad when coaches have things that we see in, quieter settings.
Yeah.
Rear their heads in public. Like when Jimbo at times would lose his mind and people would say, whoa.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
If those that were in denial about the Jimbo situation, when he flips out on Nick and he's like, they call themselves God. He made his deal with the devil. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've seen that.
Oh,
that's not news to us.
Lots of people had seen that behind the scenes.
The scenes. Yeah. But that kind of unhingedness. Yeah. Kenny, sometimes on a Monday after a loss, he would be so indignant about why stuff didn't work.
Right.
That he'd speak over your head and he'd get in technical terms of what the play calls were. Like, I'm going to know. But that was him. That was his way of winning.
Dealing with it. Yeah. Dealing with the setback. Right. But I liked the way that he coached as far as on the field directness with players. I feel like we've been missing some of that. And I rather enjoyed that. Point is, Kenny's having a good year, and maybe they win the Big 12 and go to the playoff. Cool. I'd root for it. I'd like to see it. Arizona State was once a very proud program. It seems to me there should be no reason why they've been a non-factor in college football for eons. They haven't mattered in any way, shape, or form. They used to, like, almost annually, at least be in a conversation of significant teams. But my point in bringing any of this up is, I don't know. I mean, Kenny's brought in so many transfers in the last year and a half. I mean, they could go 4-8 next year. They could go 12-0. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And I think that's kind of the whole thing. That's where if you're hoping Mike gets it turned around, if you believe he can, then you're relying on the unpredictability of what college football is now. Now, I think the circumstances surrounding Mike are interesting, and I'm doubtful that he can get it turned around the way that we all want him to, as quickly as we'd like him to, anyhow.
The thing is that I think this will be the talking point for programs that run to the portal to help themselves in the immediate. It's how do you hand it off to the next process?
Yeah.
Can you stick the landing, take the momentum, run with it, parlay it into a really nice class, and then maybe another portal. You need a second portal class. Let's be honest. If you're going to be good because the portal got you there, you're going to need a portal class right behind it to be good again the following season, because chances are
in between, though, that you were bringing in some real quality high school players.
Yeah. You have to. There has to be a passing of the baton. You're always. I think you're always going to need the portal. There's always going to be
varying degrees, sure,
2 or 3 positions at minimum that could use some help in the offseason. And it needs to be a part of the mandatory offseason work that you do to overhaul the roster. But you don't need to be going in there for 12 to 18 players every year. I just think that, that's going to be the talking point now is, okay, here's another program. Portal got them to 8 wins. Portal got them to a New Year's Six bowl, or, I guess there's no such thing anymore. Portal got them to a nice bowl. Can they transition now? Or are they just going to be like a one-hit wonder?
Well, it's going to always start with, did you get the quarterback right, I think, is a lot of times what we're going to talk about. Obviously, line of scrimmage is everything in football for your long-term success and your elite success, winning a championship, making a deep run, conference championship, all those things. It's going to be about line of scrimmage. But having an operational, somewhat coherent offense is going to start with, do you have a guy under center that can make plays when things break down? Do you have a guy under center that people want to play for? You have guys under center that other kids believe in. I think a big part, I'll never know this. We'll never get a straight answer on this. There's no real way to quantify this. Never felt good to me as we went on in terms of the belief in DJ by the other players. You didn't see a lot of rallying around DJ. I'm not real sure they did.
Agreed. Even when they did the Beats little social media blast, you remember that before they hopped on the plane? It's like, hey, DJ's got something to say. It just, you're like, oh, did he?
And very little.
Right. But just to me, that's one thing that we talked about openly. I believe. I'm not trying to be, retroactively correct in the situation.
No, because we all got a bunch wrong. We've admitted that, yeah.
For sure. I just personally, I thought the void of the loud leadership would be filled through achievement, and then it kind of reorders itself based upon merit because you've won, but then you didn't win, so it became a real issue. But if they had won the game in Georgia Tech and they had maybe won or been competitive, let's say they're 1-1 through 2 games, maybe, just maybe, they start to fall in line behind people that they can trust in. But nobody trusts anybody when you're 0-2.
When you're 0-2, yeah. Well, and listen, I'm not trying to blame all of this on DJ in any way, shape, or form. It's just you didn't see real inspirational leadership there that where people were like, oh, I want to play for that guy. And because he wasn't of the program, Jordan was really quiet. So people will say, well, Jordan Travis didn't say much. Right, but he was kind of the program for some time, and we watched him become a much better player, whom they developed and did a very good job developing. And they get credit for that. It's really the one thing where, when you hear people say that, you didn't see growth from certain players, I'm like, well, you saw a hell of a lot of growth from Jordan Travis. He was really, I think, a non-factor a few years ago, and I was telling you, like, they're going to need to look elsewhere. And then all of a sudden we had that moment where same time we were in New Orleans together, I'm like, oh, this guy looks completely different. He's understanding what they're throwing at him, has a real good sense of the offense, getting the ball out on time. usually using every aspect of what he is as a quarterback. Yeah, it was interesting.
Well, yeah, the of the program thing, when we were in the ACC kickoff, and I believe Benson was not there. I think it was Benson who missed. It was Deloach and Jordan, and man, who was the other guy?
Washington.
Could have been Verse, or
I thought it was Darius.
Whichever it was, Benson was not there. It might have been Jared from 2 years ago. I'm talking,
Okay.
And they're FaceTiming Benson.
Oh, right.
They're patching him through to the meeting room. Like, that was the thing. Like, Jordan may not have been, I'm going to dress you down on the practice field, but Jordan walked in with the other stars of the team because he was of the program, and they all loved each other dearly. So he and Jared got along great. He and Trey got along famously. And down the line it went. You'd see 4 or 5 of them walking together into practice. That's where being of the program helps. But where DJ was failed was you would never bring him in if you think that he has to be the reason you win the game.
Right, yeah.
He just guides the ship. He doesn't do all of the jobs.
You better be able to run the ball, right?
Right. And at that point, people might have followed him if we could run the ball because, well, we're winning. And
he would have had a chance to utilize his greatest weapon, which is that downfield throw, the big arm, off of play action. I also said earlier this year that I think almost immediately he was hurt. I think that became evident pretty quick. I mean, look, now that we're this far down the road, it's been something we've been able to openly talk about. But we go those first few practices in the fall, and he doesn't have a brace, he doesn't have a sleeve, he has nothing. He's out there just regularly as you would be without any impingements or any problems, and he has a couple of runs where you're like, okay, this that's adequate enough. The guy we saw at Oregon State.
They will have to honor.
Yeah, they'll have to honor that, right?
Yeah.
Then one day he shows up and he's got a sleeve on his knee. Well, I was curious, but things get tweaked, whatever. And then the next day he's got a full-on brace on his knee. We're like, okay. And then all of a sudden we see the slowest quarterback to ever play college football. And so, how could you not figure that at that point he's hurt? Clearly. They were never going to announce it. He was going to play through it, and he did. Mike doesn't ever talk about those things. But, when you watch the guy go from no sleeve to a sleeve, from a sleeve to a brace to being that kind of immobile, seems to me he was hurt pretty early in the year, which sucks.
Yeah.
And there's so many weird things that happen.
Contact in camp.
Yeah.
Which is all the more reason.
Just might as well hit.
If your guy in a green
might
jersey.
As well hit, everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, hey, Kayvon, I'm speculating. I have no idea if he was hurt. It is a weird thing to go from not wearing a sleeve to suddenly wearing one over your knee after having been at practices that we watched with nothing on that knee, followed by a brace out of nowhere as well. So I don't know. What happened? I don't know. He could have tweaked it somehow. Could have had a partial tear. Guys play through things. I don't know.
Look, speculation. You can also just say, I believe he was injured. I do.
Well, we're just watching him. You can't. I mean, he's certainly not that slow. Sweet Jesus.
No, he was one of those. You let him motor for a minute, and then he's got a decent top speed.
Got up there.
4 or 5 steps into it.
Did you happen to watch any professional football yesterday?
I did.
Did you happen to see the end of the Bears game?
Okay. I did and I didn't. Here's why. Because when the sack happens, I'm in a conversation with a buddy, and I'm thinking, surely, this is going to be blown dead, and so just a back and forth in a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next snap happens, so you whip your head around and you watch. And the clock is ticking inside of 4 seconds. What?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Yeah, they called the timeout, right? Surely they called a timeout.
No, that's the clock operator issues. We got some hometown clock operation going on here in Detroit on a Thanksgiving Thursday, and they never did.
He got fired today. So
he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I said last night watching the game, Eberflus just got himself fired. He's done a lot of things to get himself fired this year, but that one I'm like, I'd tell him not to get on the plane. I mean, what are we doing out here? Like, this has been the year of you and I and everybody else watching football, staring at a big screen going, what are they doing? Hey, man, you got to use that timeout right here, buddy. Oh, no, they didn't just do that. That just happened. They just lost. The last part of that call, my favorite, Romo's, the color analyst for the game with Nance. Romo's call, I went back and looked it up because I heard it, but I went back to look at it and just to make sure I got it right. So the the part you're talking about, the clock is ticking, the ball snapped, there's 6 seconds to go when the ball snapped, inexplicably, right? So you're watching this remarkable meltdown, and Nance says, well, they're going to have to hurry. Romo, in response to Nance saying they're going to have to hurry, goes, oh, no. Nance then goes, this is a disaster. He's going to have to make a play right here. It's incomplete, and the game is over. Romo's next response is, I can't believe they didn't call a timeout. I assumed that they did. Nance goes, they're looking around. What just happened? Romo, they have a timeout left. Why? That's the call. That's the call. You're just like, what in the world is happening here?
It's
I've never seen it. How is somebody not in the ear?
I'm telling you, there's so much money in this industry.
It's great.
What do we have to put on a CV to get on the sideline to help these coaches keep their jobs?
I mean, golly, Tom. The most rudimentary of things. I mean, this is just about the clock not striking zero. Let's just start there. Like, you had a lot of different ways to handle this, and you could have never been in this horrible situation that sees this be the final play. But if you just boil it down to brass tacks, if it was a know-nothing bum up in the box who they gave the responsibility to, he would have been like, hey, Bob, we've got a timeout. The clock is still ticking. Shouldn't we call it? Yeah. He hasn't called it. No, there's like 25 seconds. I feel like we should stop it here. You're right. Go ahead and talk to him. Yeah, we do have one, right? Yes, we've got one. It says it right there. Why aren't they just radio in? Hey, we got to call a timeout, man. That clock is running. Like, it could have been that kind of dumbassery.
I feel like it, yes, especially the defensive coaching box, because they don't have any responsibilities in that moment. They're just watching.
They're like,
it probably sounds like a black box, you know?
Oh, like when the plane's going down?
What are we doing? Hey, come on,
yeah.
Coach.
Pull up.
He's got us on Do Not Disturb. No.
He's got us on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, somebody's yelling in Matt Eberflus's ear, pull up for the mountain.
Or the DC, just he puts his arm over his assistant and says, let it happen.
Oh yeah.
Let it happen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
F this guy.
Yeah. Well, the real kicker, it's not easy to take no matter what.
I couldn't believe I was watching it. It made me uncomfortable.
The real kicker, no matter, it's a 3-point game. If it was a 4-point game, it would hurt just a little less because you needed a touchdown anyway. But you have overtime at minimum, or a kick at it at minimum. It's in your back pocket. All we got to do is not let the clock hit triple zeros.
There were so many things wrong in that sequence. One of my best friends in all the world, who I love dearly, is a huge Bears fan. I've gone to the Super Bowl with him to see the Bears Colts down in Miami. We've gone to other Bears games together. He lamented on Thanksgiving. He texted me. He's like, I'm sorry you have to watch my Bears today. And they started out getting killed, and then they come all the way back. They're going to win the game. I mean, they've got this perfect opportunity to win the game, and I'm happy for him. I'm watching this, not with him, but I'm watching this, and I'm thinking, good for Matt, good for him. He's going to see his Bears win on Thanksgiving. Rather improbably, here we go. And for those that missed it, there's 104 left. Caleb Williams hits DJ Moore on a 4th and 4. That play is nullified for offensive pass interference, okay? So this is why this makes it all the worse. You get a buildup, okay? 56 seconds left. He goes to his right. He rolls to his right, throws a desperation pass. I'm not sure who he's throwing to there. DJ Moore I think it was intended for him, but it's not close to him. And the Lions are called then for defensive pass interference, which moves the ball to the Detroit 25. All right. Now you are clearly in field goal range at that point in a 3-point game. 45 seconds left. He passes to a wide open Moore, but it's way behind him and it bounces off the ground. So it's a terrible throw that should have been completed. And this is part of the problem with Williams, but okay. So then 43 seconds left. He completes a pass to Keenan Allen, who fights his way down to the Lions' 13-yard line. They're on the 13-yard line with 43 seconds to play. They're going to win the game. I mean, I'm sitting there watching this, and a flag is thrown. So they call Jenkins, the offensive lineman. I jotted it here. He ripped the helmet off the guy. That
you had to call
that. Yeah. They moved him back to the 35. So it's still a field goal. of 52 from that far. You can make that, right? 38, especially in a dome. 38 seconds left. He drops back. They don't block either of the defensive ends. Za'Darius Smith is, this is kind of crazy. He's credited for a 6-yard sack. Now the Bears are on the 41. That's a 58-yard field goal. That's probably out of range for Santo. He is 7 of 8 from 50-plus this year, just so you know.
And, a 6-yard out is not a bad play in that situation.
Right.
You got time to think about it, right?
32 seconds to play. There's 32 seconds to
time.
Play. The Bears have a timeout. There's 32 seconds to play. They're not going to have much trouble moving the ball a little bit closer, as Tom just pointed out. But they don't call the timeout, for those of you that didn't see it. They don't call it. They let the clock roll. The Lions are kind of celebrating. Williams slowly makes his way to his feet after the sack. We're all waiting on the timeout. There's still no timeout call.
Some of us are already in our conversation because surely they would absolutely, that's a bad sack.
They would have had to call it. Got to call it right then and there. No timeouts called. All of a sudden, you see the panic as he's gesturing to his teammates, to get lined up. Nobody knows what he's saying. It doesn't appear the Bears have any idea what's happening. The clock just keeps ticking, and they snap it with 6 seconds left. So the point is, when he gets sacked, there's 32 seconds to play. They're pretty much in field goal range, and they don't call it. It's just the classic, what are these coaches paid for? It's unreal.
It reminds me of the cold sweat I got and it wasn't hard to do that, in Dublin for the season opener. And it was the end of the first half.
Oh, yeah.
And we're near midfield. We pick up a first down.
Yeah.
And you would think urgency or timeout, either one's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And was it 20 seconds? It was something absurd.
Oh, and we're yelling at each other, you and me. Like,
yeah.
What are we doing here?
Score a touchdown on this drive.
Yes.
For all the timeouts we love to call when we get sacked on 2nd and 16 to bring up 3rd and forever, because we still have a chance, or the times we call a timeout down by 20 some odd points to get an extra possession. Maybe we got them in 2nd and 11. We don't call a timeout there. And it's just, you're watching the time go. It's helpless. You
couldn't
helpless.
have known that was going to be the thing that portends of weekly disasters, from coaching disasters, though. Not just physical disasters where the players don't block or don't execute or don't tackle, like coaching disasters on a weekly basis. I was with family this week, obviously. Many of my relatives who did not, of course, go to Florida State. And they all, as we sat down to interact, said, what in the world, man? They all, I'm sure a lot of you had this happen, right? Did all of you who went home as Noles get together with family members and friends who were kind enough throughout the course of the years this blank show continued to mount, not to text you weekly? They were just kind of like, I'm going to let him deal with that. He's got a lot of emotions that he's probably dealing with right now. Like, you're good friends after a while. We'll see exactly what it is. Okay, they got some issues. I'm going to leave him alone. He'll bring it up if he wants to bring it up. I'm not going to talk about this with it. Like, the first thing that you see that happens, and you got a friend that's a Miami fan or a Gator or whatever, you're like, ha, and you bust balls, right? But you get far enough into a season where it's a blank show. Like, okay, I'm just going to, it's tough. I'll let them deal with their own. So this was the first time we could all get together, one by one. My brothers and friends and everybody there. Man, what the hell's going on up there, huh?
Did you cut it off with a before they got into the question, or did you accept the question?
I knew there would be a time and a place to accept the question, because it's a fair question. We're all diehard college football fans. We all love our schools. This is a question we're going to have to answer at some point, Tom. So the first time it was asked, I was like, we're early in the night. Let's, how you doing? How's your family doing? How's everybody? How do we get it? How's the job? Hey, you going on vacation? What are you doing? What's going on here for the Christmas break? What do you got? Let's have that conversation.
You should have brought home several copies of a 3-page statement on what's wrong with Florida State football.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask, Bob. Here you go. Here's a statement. Read that when you get a chance.
Yeah. Would you like a refill?
Yeah. In fact, if you want to read it now, I'll fill you up.
You can review the notes.
What are you drinking?
Yeah. Just review my notes.
Yeah. It's thorough. I promise you, it's thorough. It'll answer any questions you may have.
Come prepared.
It's unbelievable. Shannon Young loans for Noles. I saw Shannon out there running, was that 15K out there getting it, turkey trot thing? That's what he does. In shape, hardworking, focused, locked in. Go to loansforknowles.com to learn more. Shannon Young of Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation gives you best opportunity to save a lot of money. And not only that, maybe help you realize your dreams. You want to be a homeowner? Maybe you want to have a rental property, something along those lines. Shannon's got you covered. Nobody will work harder or smarter. Shannon Young, loansforknowles.com.
Brett Taylor just put it in the chat very quickly before we go to break that a Boise State quarterback just got tackled with 24 seconds to go in the half, and the coach called a timeout. Amazing.
Brilliant. The wherewithal in that moment. You don't see pro coaches do that, Tom.
Your next Bears head coach.
Man.
This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Sellers, are you stuck between wanting to sell your home and waiting for rates to fall? Are you worried about the contingency of having to sell your home? What if you didn't have to? With a 2-1 rate buy down, you can lock in a lower interest rate for the first 2 years of your mortgage and get the home you want now, all while having a higher chance to buy that next home with the contingency of selling yours. If you wait for rates to fall, you risk more competition, sellers less likely to wait, and paying more for that next property. If you're stuck, we need to talk. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. Again, this is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. That's 954-369-6171. And don't forget, for every loan we close for our fellow Knowles, I will personally donate $250 to the Battle's End.
Equal housing rent. NMLS number 373031.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the Battle's End. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Tune in every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. for Great Southern Gospel with Bobby and Nita Key, sharing their voices for nearly 20 years, only on Real Talk 93.3.
Find all the Gator action right here on Real Talk 93.3. Brought to you by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey, Personal Injury Law Experts, serving the wrongfully injured. Call them at 1-800-876-7773 or find them online at wrongfullyinjured.com.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Rolling on Big River on a Libations Friday, this right after Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you did. We were just kind of laughing a moment ago about, having to explain away to folks or not explain away, but have the conversation, which has been a really weird conversation. You're right, Tony. I could have just played over and over and over again. There have been issues. ... Just play that over and over again.
There have been issues.
To say the least.
Should have been a red flag. That the worst was yet to come.
Yeah.
There have been issues.
Buddy, that's putting it mildly. But, that conversation, which, most people, like you can reach a certain place of being down where people just back off. They're just like, wow, there's no reason.
There have been issues.
It's just, we've all done it when it's on the other side, when it's one of your buddy's favorite teams that are one of the worst in whatever league it is, where you're kind of like, all right, well, we'll leave that be. Yeah, this is tough. I'm not going to ride him here. He's beat up enough. He's had to watch this every week.
There have been issues.
But they all said ultimately something that you've heard me harp on this whole time. And that has bothered me more than anything and makes me really wonder whether or not Mike can rectify this situation. And I don't know that he can. And that is that how did they lose the team this badly? All these people that I'm talking about were like, hey, you guys don't even play hard. You don't even look like you care. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
You can perhaps look to the basketball program for some hope, different sport, but culture transcends whatever sport you're playing.
Sure.
And that was a group in Leonard Hamilton's locker room for multiple years that would lay an egg and not care and not try. And that was really disconcerting, and it was heartbreaking because you felt like the COVID, the lack of the Final Four potential, national championship potential for that team.
Yeah, what we knew that team could be, right?
Severed potential momentum, reputation points that would see Florida State, recruit itself to a high level. And you're 2 years out of that, and you got guys in Chapel Hill or in Chestnut Hill or all the hills, and they're not caring. But now look at this group. This group cares. They play hard. Doesn't mean that they're going to be world beaters, but that is a repaired locker room for Leonard's likely final season, I would think. But that is a repaired group. They play hard for each other. They care. They're going to be a group that doesn't bail anybody out.
That is a good way to describe them. They will not bail people out. You're going to have to beat them. You're going to have to beat them. And you might be good enough to beat them. They're not an elite team, but they're not a bad team. And I'm kind of interested to see just how good this team could be. They keep getting better. They keep showing signs that they're figuring it out with each other. And there's real depth, real length, real effort. There's some real talent on that team, too. It's not just smoke and mirrors because they play hard. They got some players.
Ewan can be a real problem. It's great to see somebody at that size, and obviously we see it in the NBA all the time, but somebody at that size can bring the ball up the court. So in case somebody wants to pressure you, it's not just a dead position out there where I'm not going to pass him the ball because he's not going to know what to do. It's all these little things. They got pieces, and hopefully they continue to add together. I know it's been an easy schedule, and next Tuesday you get a better test against LSU on the road. But we fell on our face for these types of games.
On the regular. We were watching those kinds of teams beat us soundly. Now, for Florida State to win 91-57, you're right to say, well, the competition wasn't great. But Florida State's doing with poor competition what they should do and what typically good teams do against teams that are outgunned. They dominate the game. They physically whip the team that doesn't have the personnel to hang. They're doing what they're supposed to do. But I also think, in addition to being 7-1, again, I think the way to look at them is to talk about the pieces. You mentioned Malik Ewan. He scores 10 of the first 12, whatever it was.
12 for the game.
Yeah. But, they are unselfish. The guy that needs the ball in the moment because it's the right play, makes the play. And then if teams adjust, somebody else steps in. Daquan Davis, you all of a sudden you'll get somebody else emerging. Then defenses adjust to that. Somebody else emerges. You're like, okay, they're finding the right guy, the open man. It's simple basketball. Let's go. And again, if you play really, really hard, Leonard talked about after the game how well they moved the ball. He's right. He's right.
280 some odd passes. Yeah.
It's important. It's important to play unselfishly when you're preaching team concept, right? When you're preaching that all of you are interdependent, that we don't have there's no superstar. I mean, Jameer Watkins is what he is, and he's their best player, but you don't have like a bona fide Michael Jordan type player where you're okay, well, you're going to defer because he's going to drop 30 tonight. They have to play well off of each other in order for this to work and get the most out of what they can be. So they're doing that.
Well, the good thing is, though, with Watkins, who obviously is always going to be your best player, you can see that he's trying to work on stuff, and we're able to win handily while he's working on things. But when it gets down to brass tacks in ACC competition or Tuesday, and play more physically instead of around the perimeter. There were a couple of possessions where I'm like, hey, man, a little attention to detail on defense wouldn't kill you, would it?
Right.
But you could tell he's working on things to try and make himself a more well-rounded player. But I do like the unselfishness. Yes, the pass count is wonderful. I know Leonard has a number that he wants to hit in the 200s every single game. But I like the awareness. It seems that they know where their teammate is going to be most of the time. And if they come away with a turnover or they commit a turnover, it's not because, oh, you were supposed to go in and I was passing to where I thought you were going to be. It's just I just missed you. There's a big difference there. There's a big difference. So yeah, they're rotating so many guys that you're seeing the different groupings of five get to know each other a little bit more.
Chandler Jackson, that's a nice player. There's a bunch of guys that as I watch, I'm like, he's going to keep getting better. So is that guy. They're just figuring this out, and they have real length.
And that was a broken locker room, and now look at this. So you need numbers to help change the locker room. I mean, it has to be a new roster of people, but it can happen for Mike.
Yeah, I'm rooting for it big time. We'll see. I'm wondering what those numbers are going to have to be, Tom. I mean, you and I have debated this.
Sizable.
40, 30? Where are they coming from?
Well, yeah, because what do you think you're signing? 12, 15 kids? When it's all said and done?
It's ridiculous.
So that's 28 to 38 transfers.
Are you tired of waking up every day with another kid announcing that he's going to our arch rival? Good God. It sounds like the start of a commercial. Are you like me, tired of waking up each and every day only to find that a star recruit is signed with your arch rival? I'd like to introduce you to somebody. This is in the camera pans.
I mean, that would be where the collective could do a campaign. But right now, nobody wants to touch anything. It's stay the course. Stay the course.
What course?
The course of change.
The course.
Time. The course of time.
That's all you can do, by the way. It's just stay the course. Because I keep getting that question. Who are you guys hiring? Hell if I know, man.
Somebody exceptional. That's who we're hiring.
A game changer. You'll be talking about him nonstop next Thanksgiving.
A leader of men.
Who will will this roster to a championship caliber force of nature.
And then his colleague on the defensive side of the ball, much the same.
Look out next year, guys.
Peers in excellence.
Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV.
Cold day and weekend ahead. Quite a change from Thursday. Highs near that 60-degree mark with lows in the 30s, and we are staying dry and sunny this weekend. Tonight, beginning to clear out, mostly clear, low of 36. Saturday, sunny with a high near 60, low of 34. Sunday, sunny with frost possible early, high of 60, low of 34. Frost possible again on Monday, sunny with a high near 60. From Real Talk 93.3, this is Danielle Kelly.
It's roofing and construction services. We conquer all peaks. We fix those storm leaks. Call 850-766-134. T-Spark Enterprises. Roofing and construction services. T-Spark. T-Spark Construction Job.
CCC 1331204.
There is no Bigfoot, Eddie. Would you stop with that nonsense?
There's Bigfoot, Jeff.
I wish there were. By the way, I don't want you to point to me as the guy that takes all the fun out of the room. I wish there was the Loch Ness Monster. I wish there was the Bigfoot. I wish there was the Chupacabra. All the things.
They're all mythical except for the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot. There's big feet. There's lots of them.
So like different, breeds, like different kinds.
There's like families. There's different families. And,
so there's if they're in the snow, you call them a Sasquatch
or the Yeti, right?
Yep,
and then here in Florida, that's a skunk ape. And I've
never heard that one. By the way, why do you think it's real? We would have found them by now.
They're the hide and seek champions of the world. Nobody finds the Bigfoot.
I think you believe in Bigfoot.
I do believe in Bigfoot.
You don't believe.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Don't tell anybody you believe in Bigfoot.
I would go look for Bigfoot, but he scares me.
Gordo's bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's a deep thought. What if the hokey pokey really is what it's all about? You're listening to Real Talk 93.3.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hey, this is Brian Kilmeade, and I want to hear from you, Tallahassee. Don't miss my show live from 9 till noon each and every weekday on Real Talk 93.3, Tallahassee's Real Talk station.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Boise State out in front at halftime against Oregon State 21-7 for you guys driving around, taking advantage of Black Friday, I suppose. Colorado got off to a great start against woeful Oklahoma State. Colorado, of course, looking to avenge and maybe make one last impression of some sort, put themselves in a position to, if everything goes south for the other Big 12 contenders, all 7 of them, have a shot, I guess. But they got out 21-0 on Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, one of those teams we haven't mentioned a lot this year that falls in the same category as Florida State, and that, no, they didn't go 13-0, but I think they won 10 games last year. They are currently 3-8.
Yeah, winless in conference play. And I caught just a small morsel of that game's play-by-play on the drive-in. And it was the Oklahoma State Cowboys radio network.
That's a toughie.
It's already 21-0. And I didn't know which broadcast team it was, but I quickly learned because I heard the crowd for 3, 4. Well, partner, we're just a different team at home, aren't we? Yeah, you could say that again. All right. And here we go. The Buffaloes take over again. I guess all their wins are at home. But they're certainly not in conference because they're 0-8 in Big 12 play today, as of today.
Yeah, that's a toughie. 21-0 Colorado leads there. Later on today, the Egg Bowl, Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Mississippi State, by the way, 2-9, also winless in the SEC. Ole Miss pretty much out of it after losing on the road to Florida last week. 8-3, 4-3 in the SEC, and much to Tom's not chagrin, but happy embrace. Lane Kiffin has had a Lane Kiffin season where there's a moment you go, it's a nice win. It's a great win. Look at you, Lane. Got it rolling. What happened there? You can't do that, buddy. Yeah, that's the Lane Kiffin season.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah,
there you go.
There it is. And then tonight, Georgia Tech, Georgia. Any chance whatsoever a game that sees Georgia as 18-point favorites and a total around 50 in a game? Are they dismissive of Georgia Tech and go through the motions? Could happen. Georgia Tech, by the way, 7-4 on the year. Nice little year.
It could be. If you know what, I feel like this season is begging for a weekend of chaos because
you got it last weekend.
Yeah, but it's just that's what the trend has been. It would be strange if all of the top 12, top 15 teams blew out their opponents as long as they're not facing another ranked opponent.
Yeah, and you had a weird result already. Memphis rising up and beating Tulane, 34-24.
It's a 10-win season for Memphis. And that 260-pound defensive front.
I knew it was coming. oddly, we have one hell of a game to watch tomorrow right off the bat. I can't listen, right? You wake up tomorrow, 9 a.m. You listen to the pregame show, Warchant Game Day, myself and Tom Lang. One last time because there's not a bowl game. So this is it for this year. We'll go ahead and suit up and do our duty. We will show up and talk about Florida State, Florida.
Sir, it has been an honor.
Yeah, 9 o'clock, right? The Death March ends tomorrow. But we'll do it, and we'll have a blast.
And Sunday, because that's when the postgame show's over.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's a toughie. I do feel for you and Gene on that one. Unless we win, then I'm happy for you because, I mean, look, that show always does great. That rap is one of the big banner things we do here at Warchant. But if they win, I mean, that would be hilarious. You'd stay out till 2 a.m, have a few drinks.
Probably so. Last year for the ACC championship, you don't remember this because you were in Charlotte celebrating yourself.
I called you from the box.
No, you did.
Overlooking the field.
You did, but we still went for another hour and a half after that.
It's nuts.
And I think I polished off an entire bottle of Andre in addition to the things I was sipping on. And there was at one point during the postgame, went, whoop, all right, Gene, we got to go.
We got to go. Yeah, we're all pretty blitzed.
Can't communicate anymore.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Well, tomorrow, what I was saying is at noon, sit down and get ready. Like, if you got leftover turkey, heat it up, salt that puppy, and let's go because it's Michigan, Ohio State, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Didn't think I'd be excited, but I am. And South Carolina, Clemson.
It's a nice window.
South Carolina, Clemson might be my favorite game of the day. What a game that is, huh? Two red asses going to red ass their way into that one. All kinds of red assery. 9-2 Clemson. 8-3 South Carolina. Clemson a favorite on a beautiful 45-degree day in Clemson, South Carolina. That's the game. That's the game to watch. Elsewhere, I think Notre Dame is going to just bludgeon USC.
That's the smallest number of all the games you've mentioned so far. Fascinatingly so, 7.5 is the number.
Mm-hmm. And then we all get pumped to see, are you going to choke Miami? Are you going to let the McCord kid go nuts? That Syracuse team's not good, but they can score. Here's the thing. That total is 67.5. We didn't get to do Redemption Thursday yesterday. If you could have gotten that at 65, go over. There's going to be a ton of points in that game because Syracuse will probably score quite a bit, but they won't stop Miami from scoring.
Let's just say that they score that upset. All right. Live in that land for a minute.
And then SMU just takes care of Cal, and then we got a SMU Clemson ACC championship.
That would be fun, but from Syracuse perspective, if they win their bowl game, it would be a 10-win season for Syracuse. If they beat Miami and they win their bowl game. What?
Well, that coach is in his first year, and he's on Coach Speak a lot. He's a very serious man. He got really mad at Virginia Tech when they disrespected the Syracuse band.
Really?
Yeah, it was awesome. Their kicker was warming up at halftime while the Syracuse band was playing. This kid's out kicking right between the tuba players. And afterwards, when Syracuse won the game, he was like, was really happy with that result, especially because they were disrespecting the band. Nobody disrespects the Syracuse band. It was fantastic. Yeah, that guy's serious.
Those kids are playing their hearts out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. You don't go out there kicking footballs while the band's doing their renowned show.
You've got a net on the sidelines, you selfish son of a bitch.
It was great. I don't suspect that Dilly's going to have anything to worry about against Arizona, although that game is there in Tucson. But, I mean, come on. Take care of business and you win you're playing for the Big 12 championship. By the way, Indiana, just fresh off of playing Ohio State, you're like, did they get anybody that can help their strength of schedule? No, the opposite. The opposite. They play winless Purdue, who's 0-8 in the Big Ten and 1-10 overall.
Well, hang on now. The Ohio State game in and of itself.
Oh, it moved them way the hell
brought
up.
them into the top 60.
Which is ridiculous.
Well, that's where it shows you. It's about the reflexive nature of just by showing up and playing somebody, it moves you into a respectable or non-ass category. Just one game.
Well, right, because you played one of the top 2 teams in the country on the road. The thing is that I feel like that gauge, right, where we do you got to give people credit when they play a good team, and you got to give me more credit when they play a good team on the road. Fair enough. But the result of that game will determine how much credit you get. Like, you don't get a lot of credit for going on the road and getting your ass beat. It's like, hey, we played so-and-so on the road. Yeah, you lost by 50. But we were there. Why? Well, I'm not moving you up. You did show up and play the game, but you were never in it. We're not doing this. I'm not even talking about Indiana. I'm just saying in general. How they do that, you shouldn't go from 107 to the 60s because you went and got your ass beat. All it did was take a snapshot of what we thought of you.
But that shows you had the merry-go-round of rhetoric, how it's created. I mean,
you can see how you could use it any way you want.
Yeah, just by playing these games, you're going to have a tough stretch.
Joey Galloway, who's been sat up there and was like, "Oh, well, there you go. There's a win over a top 10 Indiana team. That's just another big win for the Buckeyes." I'm like, "Oh, get what you just last week we're ripping on Indiana's schedule. You cannot do it." Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with. Your body and transform your life with DexaFit Tallahassee, your go-to for science-backed health insights. Their DEXA scan gives you the most accurate body composition available, measuring bone density, muscle mass, and both subcutaneous and visceral fat. Get the data you need to track progress and make real changes. Your VO2 max is the best indicator of health and longevity, but it offers more than just a number. It shows respiratory function, calories burned at different intensities, and whether your body burns fat or carbs, helping you train smarter. DexaFit's RMR test reveals how many calories you burn at rest and the type of fuel your body uses, so you can dial in your diet for weight loss, muscle gain, or maintenance. And their red light therapy soothes sore muscles, reduces inflammation, and rejuvenates your skin. Right now, get a DEXA scan and red light therapy for just $99. That's a $184 value. Call 850-510-7728 or visit DexaFit Tallahassee's website to book. Know your body and transform your life this fall with DexaFit. Power Mill Training Academy equips motivated athletes focused on baseball and softball with the specific tools to reach their true potential. Now, you'll read that if you go to their website, but I'm here to tell you that, look, whether it's your daughter wanting to play softball, your son wants to play baseball, or maybe they just want to have fun and get the most out of their abilities, and that's where Power Mill comes into play. They've got coaches and camps that teach for every level of play for your son or your daughter. To learn more, go to PowerMillSports.com.
Don't miss TSC Tuesdays every Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m. during the Greg Tish Show. Find out what's happening at Tallahassee State College every Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. on Real Talk 93.3 FM.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
If Real Talk was a paycheck, you'd be getting a huge raise. More Real Talk right now on 93.3. Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 brought to you by Fulmar's Pawn, Gun and Gold. More than you might expect with two great locations in Tallahassee.
The NFL holding their annual Thanksgiving triple header yesterday. In the first game, the Lions knock off the Bears 23-20 in a game that featured terrible clock management by the Bears late as the Lions are able to get the win to go to 11-1. Cowboys go to 5-7. They knock off the New York Giants, who dropped to 2-10. Cowboys get the 27-20 victory as Cooper Rush throws for 195 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And then the Green Bay Packers, they're able to knock off the Miami Dolphins 30-17. One NFL game being played this afternoon. The Chiefs are hosting the Raiders. This Sports Flash is brought to you by Fulmar's Pawn, Gun, and Gold. More than you might expect with two great locations in Tallahassee. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
There are Black Friday deals, and then there are Kohl's Black Friday deals. Where else can you get 40% off Levi's, up to 50% off Sephora fragrances, and home favorites for under $10, all in the same place? And it gets better. You can score extra Kohl's cash with $15 earned for every $50 spent. Get 15% off some of your finds and save even more with limited time doorbusters like 50% off toys. Select styles. Offers end November 29th. Coupons do not apply to Levi's employees. Coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply to Sephora. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This year, American farmers will harvest 2.8 billion bushels of wheat and 15.1 billion bushels of corn. And to this day, American road workers have built 4.2 million miles of roads and counting. We're proud that John Deere machines rolling off the line here in the USA play a part in supporting Americans who work the land and build a better tomorrow. Nothing runs like a Deere. Learn more at johndeere.com/men.
Christmas Connection bring the joy of Christmas to children and families in need. This year, more than ever, give a gift, make a donation, or volunteer your time. Wood and Glass and these local businesses have joined together to bring you this message. Rapid Press, Tony Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning, ACL Home Inspections, and Scent Evidence K9. Give yourself a gift by helping Christmas Connection bring Christmas joy to families in need. And find out more at helpchristmasconnection.com.
Homeowners, this is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I want to talk to you today about consolidating your debt. Are you struggling with your monthly expenses? Consumer spending and overall debt are reaching all-time highs, while homeowners are sitting on trillions of dollars in untapped equity in their homes. Don't be afraid to walk away from that 2% mortgage while you're paying double-digit interest rates on credit cards and lines of credit and drowning in debt. Let's talk about how we can consolidate your debt, lower your overall monthly payments, and potentially save you thousands of dollars in the process. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. Again, 954-369-6171. This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I'm at 954-369-6171.
Equal housing NMLS 373031.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50. For those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Real Talk FM. And for those of you watching on Warchant TV, on the YouTube station there, we appreciate you doing that as well. Like, subscribe, pass it along. Pass it along. Chocked full hour here. We're going to put a lot into one. Today's show, 2 hours, and then we're going to do the meet and greet like we always do over at Corner Pocket around 5 o'clock today, just after 5. And we do have tomorrow morning's show as well. Tom and myself, Warchant Game Day, looking forward to that. The third hour today, which is the bonus hour, is actually just going to be a repeat of a best of. But we wanted to give you 2 fresh hours today. So we got to get it. We got to get after it. And that means we get a red zone this hour. Hadn't really thought about the game, to be honest with you. Haven't really thought about the game.
You did for a little bit while we were on the report together earlier this week.
I did, and I said that is not a game that should get out of hand. It ought not. Now, that doesn't mean it won't. I mean, we've had a lot of games where I could say on paper it ought not get out of hand, but, then it does. So it's tough. It's tough. But I am curious. We're going to have cold weather tomorrow. Not freezing, but cold. It'll be cold tomorrow.
High as 60.
Yeah, and kickoff, more importantly, like in the 40s, right? Yeah.
Yeah, low 50s, upper 40s. Correct.
Yeah, and then by the time you get into that second half, you may even have high 30s. So, okay. All right, let's see what we got. Don't know how to affect the team, but I will say this. Lagway, who's been very, very good for them, dealing with a problematic hamstring, is fairly immobile these days with that hamstring. Hamstrings aren't in love with 38 degrees. Not in love with any of that. Now, again, is that a reach? Sure, Florida State's got to show up and play physically and care. And I'm talking about wanting to meet the same intensity that Florida's going to have. Florida feels good about itself. Florida feels like a program that's on the rise. If I were a Gator, especially a Gator player with Lagway as my quarterback, I'd feel very good about where they were headed. I'd also recognize next year's schedule is also brutal, but they've got a coach that the players believe in, have fought hard for, salvage something of a season, and a quarterback that's emerging. So they're going to come in here after having just lost to Florida State a year ago and the year before, and they're going to say, all right, look.
And they're going all in. So that's the attitude they're going to walk in with tomorrow as they approach us here in Tallahassee. Is their collective is supposed to be among the most aggressive of any collective this because they know that their schedule's tough, and they know they have a quarterback. So they know they have to spend and double down on Billy.
Well, I give them credit for that. They have a recognizable set of circumstances that one should invest in.
It's not totally dissimilar to Cristobal. Now, the only difference is they had to acquire the quarterback with said money at Miami.
Do it.
He's in-house at Florida. But the idea of, we got to help this guy. We got to do everything we can to help this guy because he's on, tenuous ground.
It's a weird and interesting dynamic, and it shows you how uncertain things can be from one moment to the next. That's why I keep saying that the revelation that occurred for me entering my 40s after years of thinking that I had a very good grasp on how things should work or not work within a program is that, look, coaches, that where this is all headed, the changes in college football, these are all very tenuous sets of circumstances. You could be great and you may not be within a year. See us right here, right now, tragically. You could be awful and this close to being fired. See them, the team we play tomorrow, this year. I mean, after that Texas A&M game, after having already been humiliated by Miami in their own backyard, coming off of a losing season, coming off of a year where, again, the folks in Gainesville were like, are we going to hire the right guy at some point? This isn't working out again. And then just like that, things began to turn around. I don't know what the conversation was. I don't know, oddly, if it wasn't the good fortune of Mertz getting hurt. May have very well been. I sort of feared it in the moment, because the opt-in from the players seems to coincide with Lagway getting the starts. And I'm not saying they weren't somewhat bought in prior.
Yeah, they did beat Mississippi State and UCF with Graham.
Oh, well, yes.
And he did play in the Tennessee game, but that was the moment.
Yeah. I mean, Mississippi State is
still, I mean, that's
winless in the conference.
That would be the gut check moment where it's like, all right, because surely we failed a very similar test repeatedly this year, which is they're not good. So are you going to elevate to just beat the not good team? We could say yes for Cal. You know, that's about it when you're talking about football bowl subdivision teams.
Yeah. Look, they played very hard for him. Anyhow, the point would be this. They're going to come in invested. They're going to care deeply. They're going to get an opportunity here. They want to – the guy always recruited well, even in the face of losing football games, which leads to great consternation amongst this fan base, Tom, because you're sitting there looking at that guy going, how the hell are you able to recruit? You got nothing to fall back on, and we're over here winning games. And we weren't recruiting as well as we should have. So that's the thing that's kind of unforgivable. It's the knock on Mike that even Mike supporters would say, yeah, that's not good. That's problematic. This staff did a poor job of cashing in their successes. We talk about this all the time when you're a defender and you do all the hard things in coverage. It's hard to cover somebody. It's one of the hardest things in the world to do, right? They know where they're going. You don't. There's so much stop and start. The rules are against you, all of this stuff. And then you put yourself in a position to make a play on the ball and you don't. And you're like, that's your great reward for using the right technique, for, being in phase. And then now the ball's put in the air and here you go. All you got to do is make a play on the ball and you don't do it. And you feel so bad for the kid in the moment because I know everything that led to that was really hard. This is the easy part. And that's what you got mad at Mike about. It's what we got mad at Mike about. Like, come on, man. You the hard part was getting this thing out of the gutter and winning some damn football games. You did. Cash it in. Go get some kids. And that window, it's tough now. You got to do it in a different set of circumstances. And, I don't know what a win tomorrow would do to dampen the enthusiasm in Gainesville. Temporarily certainly do that. It'd make us feel a little bit better for an evening, right?
Oh, for sure. We would lean into that very hard.
Absolutely should. Would it do anything for us on the recruiting trail? Would it hurt them on the recruiting trail?
I feel like even if it's irresponsible to the man who's going to be taking the job, if he says, I need you to wait a week, you don't. And I'll tell you another thing. Brennan Marion will be here this time next week.
I don't know that, but I'm going to say this. I don't know that that's going to change recruiting all that much.
It may or may not, but I'm just saying that I would be aggressive to just keep piling on the good between 000s and an upset victory over Florida and signing day. I'd find as many things as I could. Reasons to go to social media, reasons to reach out to kids and say, this is the new person for this is the new person for that. This is our new director of high school relations. This is our new everything, top to bottom. If you were to win, pile it on as much as you can. See if you can't convince a couple more kids by Wednesday to say yes. Get your recruiting class down to the number 32 in the country. Nice improvement from where they are right now.
Where are they right now?
I think they did just get the JUCO kids.
Yeah,
so let me take a look.
I was going to say, where are they right now? Because this is, I stopped paying attention knowing that we were going to be hemorrhaging recruits once the losses began to mount.
We are at 30th.
Okay, so 30th.
All right. Yeah. Let's get it down to 21st.
If you get top 25 class after going 2-10, I would be all right. Okay.
Well,
that actually would be crazy.
Kind of contingent on Solomon Thomas sticking around, which he has thus far.
I think we would all, I say this about every recruit, every meaningful recruit that we have, when I see them still, most of them are gone, but the ones that have stuck around, I'm like, I'm going to assume, to make my life easier, I'm going to assume they won't. I'm going to assume come signing day, Tom, those kids are gone. It's a much easier way to navigate this universe. Go ahead, wander the earth understanding you're not getting that kid. The kid you want, whoever that is, you're not getting him. He's not coming here. Whoever he is. For Tom, it might be Solomon Thomas. That may be for me too. We're not getting him. Any of the other kids you want out there, name him. He's not coming.
I want a 6'7" wide receiver.
Well, we got him.
JUCO.
We got
There you go.
Cater your search to the already known. I like it. Yeah, I've just decided to hang on tight for the ride, baby. Let's find out who these names are that are going to emerge once the coordinators are sort of identified and the effort to portal our way into something above mediocrity. I still don't know that we can define. I mean, we're trying to solve for the future here with our friends at ISF, and I would ask you, what is that? Solving for the future next year is what? What does the season look like that says we're having success in solving for the future?
8-4.
Not 7-5?
No, it's the quest for 8-4. Remember the old quest for 8-8?
Mm-hmm.
We are on the quest for 8-4. It's doable. I've fuzzied the numbers enough to make myself believe that it's doable. They could happen.
It could happen, Jeff. It could, Tom.
That's right. That's right. That's how you have a good holiday break. Look at that. They could beat Wake. Could also lose to them. I understand.
Part of what ISF does is strategy and operations. And if you go into that section, if you go to their website, isf.com, and you read about that, they enable efficient, mission-oriented organizations, designing strategies that break down barriers, create momentum to ensure you're going to achieve whatever those critical objectives are, Tom. Okay. So those objectives are 8-4. We're going to break down the barriers in recruiting.
Absolutely. Broken.
Hire ISF.
Kick
Let's
them down.
figure it out. Because I'm sure IT modernization would help with that. Organizational transformation we're in the midst of watching that. Strategy and operations is what we would be talking about in this situation.
There's hardly anything that could occur next Wednesday for signing day that would help us get to 8-4 next year. Hardly anything.
If you got a huge quarterback name that came in here who was a real player that would also foster more yeses from those in the portal, I beg to differ.
Next Wednesday is high school signing day. So that's why I'm saying high school signing day next Wednesday. Maybe a kid gets in the rotation for you somewhere, but I highly doubt it impacts 8-4 next year. Portal, I know everybody's tired of the portal. You need the portal.
Yeah, you're going to need, hey, not only are you going to need the portal, and I try to warn people about this. This is less than ideal. You have painted yourself into a corner. It's a terrible situation. You are now trying to recruit to a place with a head coach who's in year 5 after having navigated all the tough stuff, reached the top of the mountain just about, only to careen into the side of the next slope. Okay, got it. Now you have no momentum to speak of. You're going to have to bring in players, Tom, that many people will not have the first idea about. Because you're going to be getting kids from the group of 5 who see the garnet and gold, rightfully, as a huge step up and a great opportunity, who's compromised, and that's why they're calling your sorry 2-star ass. And I say that lovingly. They're calling you because they can't get the elite of the elite right now. Those kids are going elsewhere. They have options. They don't have to go to 2-10 Florida State. They can go to Ohio State or Georgia or wherever, but it ain't here in Tallahassee. So you're going to be settling on kids that many of you out there are going to get up and see on warchant.com. Oh, the Noles are taking Marshall's backup right tackle.
Good player.
It's a good get, guys. That's a good get. And then you're going to have to twist yourself and contort yourself in so many ways to come out the rest of the day with a smile on your face telling your friends, I see what they did there. I like that pickup. I just think it's a good, solid, quality pickup. And then the next day is going to happen. You're going to be like, all right, the H-back from where did he play? Temple. Did Temple win 3 games last year? No, but remember when he was coming out, he was a very good player out of Louisiana. He's worked his way into being a tight end. He was a receiver, so he's kind of a little bit of an unknown. He's a tweener, but I think we're getting him at just the right time.
Do love 235.
You know, Mike likes to juggle those kinds of guys. He could be in the backfield. You put him at the H, you put him at tight end. You know, I think he might be something. Like we have to hit a home run there, but I think we may have found the guy there. He had 2 catches last year at Temple. Right. He was a tweener. Like I said, he was a tweener. They didn't know what to do with him.
They want to get him to 255, be an inline blocker, because we haven't had those.
Yeah. So that's what you got there. Then the next kid that you're going to see we pick up, Oh, we got a linebacker from Utah State. You know, that Utah State program's usually pretty competitive. I agree. Not because of their defense. Kid's got some speed, though, sideline to sideline. This is the conversation we're going to be having over and over and over again. Got a safety from Bucknell. I didn't see Bucknell play last year. No, me neither.
I think there was a Freudian slip because a safety sounds like the pill you would take to handle the offseason. You know, I'm sorry, I'm getting too stressed. I got to take a safety.
Yeah, no, I took the safety from Bucknell. He's 6'4", Kyle. Wow, 6'4". Yeah. A lot of length in that secondary when you look at the guys that stuck around, and now you bring in this 6'4" safety from Bucknell. We're going to be all right. Not throwing over our heads anyhow. Not on jump balls. They'll get those. Red zone player, kind of a red zone defender.
Had a basketball background.
Yeah. Big vertical. Big. He can really jump.
Was recruited by Sam Houston State to play basketball.
There we are. Well, listen, I understand you don't watch a lot of Furman, and they weren't good last year, and they did lose, I do believe, to Charleston Southern.
They did.
That's a tough loss for Furman, and it's a bad program. They didn't used to be back in the day, but getting their right guard, who unanimously was well thought of in that conference, third team. I think that's a good pickup. We could use the exercise in the interior.
Would you like to know next year's opponents and locations, or is that too much too soon for projecting what's possible?
I'd love to know those.
Okay. All right. Very well.
Why don't we do them when we come back?
It's a tease. He did a tease.
Solving for the future, our friends at ISF. Well done. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Whoa! Check out Pinch a Penny. We're stocked to the rafters with hot spring spas, a recognized leader. Imagine the fun of the holidays with warmth, relaxation, and lovely bubbles. It's 30 home spas for you to see right now. Affordable right now, too. Up to $2,000 off. Or special financing. Ask for details. Is the world stressing you out like that? Pinch a Penny. Now, to assure these prices, Pinch a Penny open 7 days a week on Career Road.
Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachian Parkway.
Roofing and construction services. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-134. T-Spark Enterprises. Roofing and construction services. T-Spark. T-Spark Construction.com.
CCC 133-1204.
On the front lines, fighting the insanity of the woke, it's Matt and Brett Oster with America in View.
Matt, Florida has become the world leader for freedom, and I love being in the studio with you every week where we are reinforcing the conservative movement with truth, the Constitution, and a little redneck common sense. We're waking the woke.
That's right, Brett. We enjoy talking politics and what's going on in the world. We're bringing our take on the issues, doing our best to fight for freedom.
So tune in every Friday at 4 p.m. on Real Talk 93.3.
Dream it, plan it, do it. Brian Barnard's Flooring America offers a straightforward way to shop with our streamlined shopping. Finding the right flooring is simple. Visit our newly remodeled showroom featuring the Room to Explore shopping experience, where our knowledgeable staff will walk you through the steps. Our family has been serving the area since 1976 with a local staff of more than 35 people trained in flooring sales and design. We know floors and we know styles. Let us help make your home timeless. Brian Barnard's Flooring America, where friends send friends.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. And Cyber Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
All right, so it is Libations Friday, and even though it is a weird week with the holiday, we are going to go ahead and get after some picks here. My mother still leads, hanging in there. I think, and we'll cue it up here in a second, but I think Mama took 2 of 3 from me last week and moved that lead back up to 3. Is it 3?
I'll have to check if it's 3 or 4 at that point.
It's 3 or 4. She'll probably know. But go ahead, cue it up. Let's get these wagers in.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room!
Ma, the meatloaf! Take it away, Jeffrey.
We both had Detroit, who tried to lose if the Bears weren't colossally stupid, and that led to their head coach being fired. We would have lost, but we would have both lost together. As it turns out, Detroit wins, and we win together. We both had Dallas over the Giants. They win as well. No big surprise there. Do want to mention in my props, I had Malik Neighbors over 64 yards receiving. He had 68, so I cashed that in, which was nice, yes?
I have you down 1.
Yeah, I think I lost 2 of 3 last week, so I'm down 2. Okay, I didn't give us.
I had you last week, just very quickly. I had you at a +2 when we did this last week. Mom was +2, excuse me. But then you had Seattle, and she had the Cardinals, and Seattle won. So I have it down to a 1-game differential, pending the Thanksgiving Day games and today's game.
Mom, did you hear that?
I did not hear that. I'm sorry. I heard him starting to talk, but I thought that actually I didn't think you were right. I did the week before. I did take 2 out of 3, but then this past week, I think you won 2. I think I'm only up 1.
That is correct. You are up 1. I didn't give myself enough credit. I'm better than I realize.
There you go. Yeah, no, I think I'm up 1. So
all right, you're right. And Tom just double checked it. You are correct. And so here I was trying to screw myself over in this heated battle.
your mother's being honest.
You are. Now, we both had Detroit, we both had Dallas, and we both had Green Bay. So we won all 3 yesterday for Thanksgiving.
So far, so good.
You know, Mom, I got to tell you, we just had Thanksgiving dinner together, and it was wonderful. The whole family was there. I don't know that you recognize how good that salmon at the club is. That salmon is delicious.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad it is. You know, I make salmon here at home quite often, and so I don't normally get it at the club because I have that really good salmon that I order and fix. But the club has really good food. I mean, generally, everything's really good, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I went crazy on the salmon and the shrimp. I had turkey, and I also had prime rib. But we stuffed our faces. It was great. All right, you ready for the game today? This is happening when I get off the air. I forgot this was happening. It's on Amazon. I don't know that anybody's going to tune into this game. It is Las Vegas. That'd be the Raiders against the Chiefs.
Oh, it is on Amazon? It's on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought it was going to be on the NFL Network. Okay, it's going to be on Amazon Prime. All right, well, anyway, I took Kansas City.
Of course you did, and so did I. And for whatever reason, Kansas City is routinely having these ridiculously close games with Las Vegas and or losses. It makes no sense. And they're 13.5-point favorites. So we'll see if they finally stomp Las Vegas after what the fiasco they had last year against them on Thanksgiving or just after. Los Angeles, that'd be the Chargers in a great game, traveling across the country, fresh off a tough loss against Baltimore at Atlanta.
I know. I took the Chargers.
The dog is barking from your pick. I don't know. I'm going to say...
I know. I closed the door, but I can't help the dog.
I'm going to say Atlanta.
Oh.
And I really want you to win.
I know. I do, too, because they are in our division. We need them to lose.
We do. But I'm betting against you, so I'll take Atlanta. You have the Chargers. The Steelers are on the road at Cincinnati.
I know. Now, I think that's going to probably be a really good game, but I took Pittsburgh.
I'm going to take Cincinnati one last effing time.
Oh, my Lord. Okay.
Damn it, Joe Burrow. Come on, baby. I need you. At some point, we got to win one of these games. That game is in Cincinnati, and it's the only reason I'm taking Cincinnati is if they lose, this is it. That's it. That's all season done. They got it. They got to buck up here and get a win. Arizona at Minnesota.
Oh, I'm taking Minnesota.
Me too. Indianapolis at New England in a crappy game.
I know. I took Indy. I don't know. It's a flip a coin, but I took Indy.
I hate this game. I just hate it. I don't. These two teams suck to high heaven. I'll take Indy as well, but I don't feel good about it. Seattle on the road against the Jets.
Yeah. Oh, Seattle.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take Seattle on the road. Screw the Jets. Aaron Rodgers ruined the Jets.
Oh, my God. And, he should have just retired when he left Green Bay and called it a day. It's been ridiculous. I mean, it's terrible.
Looks like a bum, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, really, he's been terrible. And then he was hurt all last year. Now he can't play this year. And, oh, my God. That's not all his fault. But, I mean, I just think, why didn't he go out in style and everybody would have thought he was fabulous, and now they don't.
Tennessee is at Washington.
Washington.
Houston is at Jacksonville.
Houston.
The Rams are at the Saints.
Rams.
I'm with you. Bucks at Carolina, which has me slightly concerned. Carolina's been playing much better lately. The child at quarterback for Carolina is starting to make some throws every now and again. I don't know. I'm nervous.
I know. I took Tampa Bay. I'm taking our Bucks. They got to win. I mean, they need to win all these games, except I think that they could win them all, except I know they play the Chargers.
Yeah.
That could be a toughie. But I don't know if they play them home or away, but I took Tampa Bay. I think the Bucks have got to win. They got to keep winning.
There's no doubt. And I, too, will take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Two-time Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Philadelphia at Baltimore.
That's a barn burner.
Mm-hmm. That's a grown-ass man game right there.
That's a humdinger. I took Philadelphia.
Ooh. I kind of like your pick, but I'm going to take Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
It's a good game.
It's a good game, one of the best.
Those two are going to run the ball down each other's throat. That's going to be intense. Good game. Yep. Good job, Mom. San Francisco at Buffalo. We're both taking Buffalo.
Yes, we are.
There was a time where that'd be a great game, but it's not this time. Cleveland at Denver.
Denver.
Yeah. Might be another snow game, so I look forward to it. Jameis gets another shot in the snow. We'll see. That's a good Denver defense.
I know. He'll be tickled again. I'll tell you what.
He was tickled.
He was sure happy camp.
I know. It was
before and after.
It was fun to watch. All right, Mama, so we have three different here, right?
Oh, yeah. We have the Cincy-Pittsburgh game different. We have Atlanta-Chargers different. You took it. Okay. And then we have Baltimore-Philadelphia. So you have Baltimore and I have Philly. So, I don't like Philly, but I picked them. I mean, I think that's a toss-up, really. Don't you?
I do. Philadelphia has won 7 straight games, and they run the ball better than anybody in the league. So, yeah. It's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right. Well, I'm either going to be up or down.
I'm hoping that you relinquish the lead for the first time in a while. You feel some of that pressure,
My goodness. I know. All right. Well, anyway, there we go. Well, yeah, it was great having everybody with us yesterday. it was a fun time. And so anyway, I appreciated everybody coming from near and far and being with us.
Love you, Mom. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Near and far. We were all there. It's good times. Good times. I did overeat. You don't normally get after salmon at the Thanksgiving meal, buddy, but I got to tell you. So they belong to this club down there, this country club down there.
Hoity-toity.
Yeah. And
isn't she the head of the social?
She was.
Yeah.
She was. She did it for like 3 years, and now she's retired. But so, yeah. It's a nice place, as those clubs tend to be. And we thought, as the family getting all together, like, you don't cook, let's just do it up. Let's go to the club. We'll all meet at the club. I get in trouble every time this happens. They've got an endless buffet of desserts, and that includes everything from German chocolate cake to cheesecake to ice cream to every kind of pie imaginable.
What makes it German? I don't
know.
Is it rigid?
It's dark chocolate. I don't know. And it's
does it snap when you eat it?
It's delicious. I love it. And they had this raspberry cheesecake that was delicious. It's out of control. And then, of course, they had the prime rib. And then I saw the salmon and the sauce, and I was like, oh, they got the salmon over there. And they got these huge shrimp. I had to have like 15 shrimp. Can't go wrong. Fresh shrimp. Place is right on the water.
Have you used the restroom since your big meal?
I'm all good to go.
Good for you. That's important, because sometimes it can make it to the next day in the drive, and this is a bad idea.
Then you drive. This is terrible. What, I got to go to a rest stop? Nobody wants to do this. No.
You hear the internal instrument.
What's going? What have we done here?
I don't think that was. I think that was a yellow alert. I think I could get home.
You should have heard the old man at the table to the right of us talking about to his family. He's like, I know you guys didn't try any, but that chicken pot pie, that's where it's at. I wasn't going to get it, but I had to try a big old scoop of the chicken pot. Now I want another bowl. I was cracking up. Everybody has their thing. Chicken pot pie can never take precedent over anything. Almost anything that's even decent.
Sounds like he likes that on the level of the giant pretzel,
which is delicious.
The giant pretzel is key. Don't bathe in butter. This is not Auntie Anne's. Just give it to me with the salt.
But it does have to have the salt, and you need a good mustard.
Yep.
But that's it.
That's right.
We're in agreement there.
That is one of the few times, though, that a French's mustard is just fine.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
You don't need the spicy mustard with that.
Spicy or the
no.
With the
plain,
stone ground mustard.
No, I know what you're talking about. No, plain French's mustard is where it's at with that particular food item.
Yeah.
I agree. It is rare, folks, that you hear Tom and I agree wholeheartedly on food, but we're on the same page here. We'll share a pretzel together at the next baseball game we go to, buddy.
Then it just is so. That's just what if we agree, that's just so. It's a fact.
Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Cold day and weekend ahead. Quite a change from Thursday. Highs near that 60-degree mark with lows in the 30s, and we are staying dry and sunny this weekend. Today, though, a 40% chance of rain, cloudy with a high near 60. Tonight, beginning to clear out, then mostly clear, low of 36. Saturday, sunny with a high near 60, low of 34. Sunday, sunny with frost possible early, high of 60, low of 34. From Real Talk 93.3, this is Danielle Kelly.
Help Christmas Connection bring the joy of Christmas to children and families in need. This year, more than ever, give a gift, make a donation, or volunteer your time. Wood and Glass and these local businesses have joined together to bring you this message. Rapid Press, Tony Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning, ACL Home Inspections, and Scent Evidence K9. Give yourself a gift by helping Christmas Connection bring Christmas joy to families in need. And find out more at helpchristmasconnection.com.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
There is. Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. U2 at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean?
No Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude, I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean,
No. I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Jeff.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Real Talk fact number 44. Banging your head against the wall for 1 hour burns 150 calories. This is Real Talk 93.3, Tallahassee's Real Talk station. Real Talk fact number 22. If tomatoes are fruit, that makes ketchup a smoothie. Yummy! This is Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Make sure we get to the red zone. We're not ignoring wonderful partners on the Jeff Cameron Show. Thank you for keeping track, by the way, Tom. I had no idea that I was within one game of my mother.
It's about honesty here on this program.
It's the right thing to do. The crown needs to make its way back over to its rightful owner.
That I cannot weigh in on. All I can do is referee this thing fairly.
So I'm one back, and again, we won all three of those ones yesterday. And the one I actually only bet, I'm 2-0 for Redemption Thursday picks, even though we didn't do them on the air, so you're going to have to take my word for it. I took Green Bay minus the 3.5 against Miami. Yeah, I didn't think the Dolphins had any chance to go up to Green Bay and win. Did you?
No,
right? You should have
had
bet
a
on
better
it,
chance with Tua, but still, no.
Deuce Spann has entered the transfer portal. You guys knew that, but I haven't really addressed it. So it's an insignificant loss for Florida State. And I say that begrudgingly because he's a Lakewood High School alum like myself. And I love you, Deuce. Good luck to you. But, man, it never really panned out for him. The 99-yard kickoff return is what he'll be remembered for against Duke. And it was an awesome kickoff return. The 1 year he had 300-plus all-purpose yards, including a pass. But unfortunately, the specifics of being a receiver seem to elude him for much of his time here, at least in the way of consistency. I wish him the best.
Same. There are some guys when they leave the program, you're saying, good, that improves the program. They needed to go their separate ways.
Oh,
yeah. This one, you're rooting for the guy. You're rooting for the guy all the way.
Yeah, not a bad kid. He's hard, worked hard, nice kid. Got no beef with Deuce Spann. And if you would, sir, what do we got there? Hope you both and everyone else had a happy Thanksgiving. That comes from Eric. Thank you, Eric. Kind of you. I hope you and yours did as well. We had a great thing. Just talking to Tom, it looks like we both had a great Thanksgiving.
Peace was found. That's the key.
By the way, no Podol writes, does Kromenhoek throw more touchdown passes or interceptions tomorrow night?
That could be a fifth down, fan down question.
Oh, I like that question.
I like,
we'll go back.
I like Nopotol.
Nopotol. More. I think it's going to be even.
Well, I guess we have the answer before the red zone. We are so
that was
well
the
prepared.
fifth down. We did it. Yeah, we did reverse. It's the fifth down. Yeah, sorry about that. It's the illegal Colorado down, Missouri down. Yeah, that's the one. All right. Cue it up, and I'll get my friends in order, and we'll be ready to talk.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game. Oh, he hits the upright. It's no good.
You have entered.
Someone burned down the funeral home. You burnt the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players give all that they have and
and you lose that way, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
I know who I am.
North, South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
It's good to know.
And that is thanks to my friends at Artisan Financial Strategies. If you want to learn more, go to NoelRetirement.com. Join their email list to claim your free retirement readiness assessment. Several of my listeners have done that. Other services provided from this fine group that we've enjoyed collaborating with: risk management, investment management, business succession and exit strategies, financial planning, and of course, estate and legacy planning. It's a pretty simple way to figure out, are you prepared for your retirement years? You have enough money for you and your family, and to deal with all the things that come with this life, such as, higher healthcare costs and all those kinds of things. You're going to want to have a winning game plan. You can do so thanks to Artisan Financial Strategies. NoelRetirement.com. First down, Tom, talk to me, baby.
All righty, so we're going to return to something we teased a couple segments ago, which is opponents and locations. So for first down, I'm going to give you a third of the schedule, a quartet of teams, and you tell me how many wins Florida State will accrue.
What a day.
That's right.
All right, I will do
Aren't
that.
we thankful for this segment?
Yes.
All right, the first four opponents are the four that have fixed dates on the schedule. The rest of them do not. Alabama in Tallahassee. East Texas A&M, which I believe was A&M Commerce.
Something like that, yeah.
The week after Alabama. 2 weeks after that, the Golden Flashes of Kent State. And then this game next year on the road in Gainesville, Florida. So of those four games, Florida State, first down, wins how many?
2.
Damn. Okay.
2.
All right. Next four. We're going to be at Clemson. We're going to be hosting the Miami Hurricanes. Who knows who their quarterback's going to be? We're going to be hosting Pitt and also playing host to Virginia Tech.
2.
I sense we're going over in these rivalry games, but okay.
2.
Out of the next four, we're 4-4, baby. We need to shoot
What a
the moon.
season. What a season.
We host Wake Forest. We travel to NC State. We're on the road at Stanford. That's going to be a 10 p.m. kick. You know it.
Host Wake Forest. Start over. We host Wake Forest.
At NC State.
Okay.
At Stanford. And we play amongst the blinding beauty of Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia against the Cavaliers for the Jefferson Epps Trophy. Those are the last four games.
3.
7-5, says you. Okay.
7-5.
7-5. So we've got to find one upset in there. I'm assuming you have us losing to, we know Alabama, but Florida, Clemson, and Miami?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like my undergrad.
Yeah. Yes, I do. So
7-5, lose to your rivals. That sounds like my undergrad.
I'll take 7-5. We're going to be 2-10 after tomorrow.
All right. Fourth down. You already told us what the result's going to be, so I will pivot quickly, nimbly, like Lawrence Toafili in the Wildcat.
When he gets the ball.
Never. They'll give it to Ja'Kai for the Wildcat instead.
It's the wrong thing to do.
The race tomorrow is to what number?
21.
That's doable. Hey, we've got a shot.
Yeah. We do have a shot. I am not going to pick us, but we certainly have a shot.
If you would take that right now, if you were promised that Florida will amass 21 points tomorrow, book it in ink. You'd say, yeah.
Give you something to shoot for with your 105th ranked offense in yards per play, your success rate of 119th in the country, your expected points per play, 128th in the country, your net expected points, 128th, 126th offense success rate of 127th. The offensive success rate passing the ball at 132nd, and you're 108th in your offensive success rate running the ball. So yes, I would take.
Boy,
yeah.
I feel like I'm at the Thanksgiving dinner table with the uncle who just had his third glass of wine. Somebody says something that has nothing to do with politics, but he found a way to twist it in there and turn it into politics and just to tell us about the world. Because this was fun. And then you started rattling off our offensive numbers.
130th in third down success rate, 128th in early down success rate. So you see where you can get the 130th third down rate, 134th and third down rate, because you're so bad on the early down rate. So, it just one bleeds into the other there. It's very simple to follow it.
This is where your sister Kelly says something like, I can't believe that guy crossed the road. Did you hear about this? He crossed the road randomly. I was going down US 19. You know why he does that? Yeah. And everybody goes,
oh, here we go. Here it comes.
Uncle Walt had his third glass of wine.
He's pissed. Those, if you guys ever look at any of the analytics that you can get from a number of sites, but if you went to like Game on Paper or anything like that and looked at previews, the purple, you don't want to be in the purple. You want to be in the green. You like green, you don't like purple. And when you pull up Florida State's numbers, it's just a purple festival. It's just a purple. There's another purple followed by another purple and another purple, and then an even darker shade of purple. Like this is like violently bad.
Isn't that Procol Harum?
Yeah.
Darker shade of purple.
I mean, it's like, here's a little bit of a light purple, which is danger, followed by, what, is that even purple anymore? It looks black. It's so purple. We've hit the emergency. Hit the emergency button right now. Call in SOS. We've got, we're 134th in this one. It's dark purple. It's unreal.
Why is VJ Singh coming to the top of my mind?
NoreTirement.com, scoring in the retirement red zone, an easy assessment. If you go there, give them your email address, and they will help you out. Artisan Financial Strategies, thank you so much. All year long, been killing it. Wish we had a better team. I know Adam and his crew does too. You won't find a more loyal Noel. And more important than just being a loyal Noel, my man is excellent at what he does. Excellent. He and his team are excellent. We've had a couple conversations. Adam and I tend to depress each other. Adam is like me. I'm not who you call when you want to have dialogue about Florida State and what I think is, going to happen here.
Yeah, clearly. So he's going to appreciate this segment.
What are we going to run from the realities of our world here with Florida State right now?
It's kind of a work holiday hybrid day. I mean, is that the worst thing in the world to just not address it? I guess not.
We play tomorrow, Tom. We play Florida tomorrow. We have to address it. I'm just glad it's the last time we have to address it before a game. We'll address the offseason, and the conversation will be nuanced with the offseason because there's going to be different things happening and no games to compare and contrast. Just, okay, there you go.
Could have a coordinator on Monday.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, there you go. There's your fifth down. Do we have a new coordinator?
Yes.
0.5.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think we will. I'm not panicked by the non-announcements up to this point. I know a lot in the fan base are because we're all anxious. We're angst-ridden. We want to hear something, anything that shows us a new direction, a new possibility, something other than what we have, which is mired in purple. I mean, we got to have something better than this. We need some light. Show me a green, a yellow, something that spells out hope.
I had our mascot on the screen. Do you see him?
No, I didn't have us up.
There you go.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
It's our football on paper mascot.
It's one of those things that's, look, as far as, I'll just tell you this. I see a commitment from Jordan Scott, and I go, I guess that's good. He's 6'7". I don't know. I look at, these other kids that may end up making their way to Tallahassee. And, I know this. You've got a kid coming in who's already committed to LSU, visiting this weekend in Tallahassee.
Yeah, defensive end.
Jesse Harold.
He decommitted. Did you say that?
Yeah, well, sorry, I didn't, but he's going to be,
apparently last night.
6'4", 230. He's the number 19th ranked edge rusher, 144th overall ranked prospect in the country.
That would do.
That seems like it would be a great get. You might wonder why I don't dwell more on that. I don't. The modern recruiting drives me nuts. It's very difficult to have a lot of faith in anything that you see in recruiting. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. It matters greatly. And I'm not trying to diminish people's passion for it. It's just that it's such a weird thing now compared to what it used to be. And we are in such dire straits. I do kind of go into sort of a tepid response when it comes to big name players saying that they're interested in Florida State, because I feel like we could be used as leverage for other teams. And I'm that way because I'm pragmatic. We're 2-9. If you have the interest of a very good player in the midst of a transformation that involves 3 new coaches, bare minimum, having to be named on the heels of 2-9, you can't say with great certainty that you feel good about any one of your recruits sticking. Doesn't mean they won't. Doesn't mean it's not exciting to hear about a kid like that that's interested, perhaps. It's just that I'm cynical. I'm jaded, the way that all of us have to be at this point. I don't know how you'd be anything other than cynical and jaded, because you've just watched a collapse like none other.
The holiday spirit did nothing for you. Maybe it was that drive this morning.
I still love everybody.
You know, we need to hear that sometimes.
You know, I would like to be able to shower the masses with sunshine and great joy on a day like today, but I can't. What I can do is tell you, happy hour is going to get started at 5 o'clock over there at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
in the jackpot now. Okay?
And there's football on the Vegas wall, which is a great thing.
Somebody's going to be late for taking home takeout food to the house. That's what happens at the Corner Pocket.
Every time.
Oh, 5:45 turns to 7:15 real fast.
Especially when it's nice and chilly and you get like a porter or something. Oh,
there's football on.
Football. It's going to be great. Good work out of you. We got a bonus hour that is a best of from a week ago, and we will talk to you on Monday. Peace.
Barman, you look so twisted.